You got 30 minutes. Check. 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Check 1, 2. I don't see any green lights. And here for basketball, you want that green to go right to the red. Otherwise, the crowd will drown out the mic. Okay. Well, I like you. You're so smart. Follow when somebody's carrying a little camera first by himself. Ball. There's always so much writing for basketball. The boys is worse because they have a C team. No, just JV and varsity. Yeah, Ziggy Thompson was such a good player. I wish her sister would play. Yeah, we've got three really big kids from the volleyball team that aren't playing. Thompson, Green, and Hopkins. Yeah. Yeah, I think that came from her dad. He kind of got in a little pickle with the coaches and stuff. Got mad, and it's too bad because he was a good coach. Josie was a good player. Yeah, Ziggy's taller than Matt, right down here in front. Yeah, she went to Western Wyoming in Rock Springs, played volleyball and basketball. Well, they're at different seasons. We can take it at 5. At least I don't have to worry about the wind blowing my papers off. Although some people do say I'm full of hot air. Some people do say I'm full of hot air. Hello, everyone. A very pleasant good evening as we begin the 25-26 basketball season. The gals have Ririe in town tonight. Bulldogs. Normally, it's a pretty good matchup with Soda. Last year, Malad dominated our conference, but they lost to Parma in the state championship 58-55. Soda played 2 games and they were done. Soda lost to Parma 49-24. I think this was at Bishop Kelly. And then they lost to New Plymouth 48 to 36. In the 6As, last year's champion was Owyhee. They beat Boise 38-33. And the 5As, Pocatello defeated Middleton 62-45. In the 4As, it was Sugar defeating Bear Lake 47-41. In the 2As, it was Oakley 62 and Prairie 51 for the state championship. And then in the 1As, it was Rockland over Genesee 56-39. We already have one of the semi football games in. Ririe defeated Aberdeen yesterday 14-8. And all kinds of football games going on today. So we've got Ririe here in Soda tonight. The Lady Beavers from American Falls will be here tomorrow night. So 2 home games in a row. Then the Cards will be at Parma. That'll be next Friday, November 21st. And then they'll face the Lady Mustangs of Melba on Saturday, November 22nd. Then they'll head on down to St. George. They do that every year. And they'll go to the Desert Hills tournament. And that'll be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, December 4th, 5th, and 6th. Then we have a conference game on December 12th. That's a Thursday. And it'll be Wendell here at Soda. And then the following day, Saturday, the Lady Cards will head on out to face the Hornets out in Declo. And that'll be on the 13th. Ririe, their schedule, of course, they are at Soda here tonight. Then they're at Malad next Tuesday. And I think Malad is probably the favorite again in our conference. And then South Fremont will be at Ririe next Wednesday. Then the Lady Bulldogs will be at Teton Friday, November 21st. And then they'll be at Bear Lake to face the Lady Bears. And the Bears should be really good once again. They still have the Wells kid. I think she's a senior this year. Easy 6 foot, 6'1". And so in the conference, American Falls, Malad will be at American Falls on Friday. And that's who we play tomorrow. And so Beavers they've got a full schedule. A lot of it's on the road. In the conference, Malad is at AF on Friday, and then Ririe is at Malad on Tuesday. West Side, they've got West J at West Side on Saturday, and then they'll be at Marsh Valley to face the Lady Eagles on Wednesday. Aberdeen will have the Grizz. Grace will be in Aberdeen on Tuesday, and then they'll be at North Fremont to face the Lady Huskies. Declo, they'll be at Buell on Tuesday, and Nampa Christian will be at Declo on Friday. We are ready to go, and I will just pick up the starters as we go. Ririe will be in blue with yellow or gold, yellow numbers, soda in white. Tap comes down, controlled by Ririe, going in off the right side, putting the shot up was Lindquist. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll belong to Soda. Taking the ball out of bounds will be Osborne. Osborne gets it into Franson. Franson down the left side, lost the handle on it, got it back. Ball is taken away by Burnside for Ririe. Ooh, that was almost out of bounds. Trapped on the sideline. It comes back to Escaleta. Comes over to the right side to Young. Back up top to Escaleta to Bert Lundquist. Goes into the corner. Lundquist, about a 17-footer, got it. Nice shot by Lulu Lundquist. Full court pressure by the Bulldogs. That's knocked up in the air as the pass was intended for Ali Osborne. What two Osbornes on the floor? Hallie and Howard. Ball taken away. Goes to Escaleta. Escaleta puts it up. Rebound comes down to Franson for Soda. Franson into the forecourt. Left-hand dribble. Goes to the free throw line. Shot partially blocked. As Richardson put it up at about the free throw line. It goes out of bounds. It'll belong to Ririe. Soda, no pressure in the back court. Looks like a 1-2-2 zone, or are they going to pick them up man up on the point for the Cards as Coons. Comes back up top straight away to Young. Young gets it over the right side. Escaleta puts it up. That's no good. And Ali Osborne with the rebound. Pushing it into the forecourt is Coons. Ball gets away from Hallie Osborne. And I'm thinking they're going to say that Ririe knocked it out of bounds. This is the junior varsity game. Just underway. It'll be Osborne, Hallie to inbound the ball. Gets it in over the head. That's going to go to Young. Young puts it up and she was fouled. You're lucky that wasn't a 2-and-1. That foul is going to go against Ali Osborne. At the line will be Young. Aaliyah Young. She'll get a pair. Shot is up. High on the rim. Goes in. It's 3-0. Ririe. Young will get one more. 6:33 to go in the first quarter. Second shot is up. Dances on the rim. No good. Rebound ripped away by Franson. Franson with a left-hand dribble gets it up to Richards, or make it Coons. Comes back outside to Franson. Franson drives. What a shot by Franson. 3-2. Goes over, over to the right side to Young. Back up top to Escaleta. Goes to Lundquist. Lundquist puts it up. No good. Down with the rebound is Coons. Coons gets it up the floor to Osborne. They're going to call traveling on Haley Osborne. So Ririe with a 1-point lead and the basketball. As the ball will come into Escaleta. Escaleta over the left side to Lundquist. Back up top, they work it to Young. Escaleta with a 3-point shot. Oh, that was down, popped back out. Ririe with the rebound. Bounce pass across the bottom to Newton. 3-point shot up again. Ririe with the rebound. It's Young. She'll kick it back outside to Lundquist. To Escaleta. To Lundquist. Over on the angle to Young. Shot up by Escaleta is no good. Ball is knocked out of bounds by Maddie Newton. It'll be Soda's ball. Checking in for the Cards will be Gibson. Soda has 6 freshmen and 2 sophomores on the JV team. Ball in the back court. It's Franson. Ball taken away. Franson takes it back. Gonna get a jump ball with Burnside and Franson. Possession will belong to Soda. Checking in will be Rosen. Maya Rosen for the Bulldogs. Full court pressure for Ririe as the ball comes into Franson. Over the head of Coons. Goes over to the right side to Escaleta, straight away to Young. Over on the ankle, Escaleta holds up against Franson. Up to Lundquist, over on the left ankle to Young. Shot from the left side is no good. Rebound down to Franson for Soda. Franson in the back court gets it up to the high post to Richardson. Driving in is Franson. Franson, nice drive, scores. Soda takes a 1-point lead, goes over on the angle to Young. Driving in, Lundquist puts it up, no good. Down with the rebound is Richardson. Richardson will get it to Coons. Coons drives off the left side, lost it. Picked up by Escaleta, gets it over to Young. Young will bring it into the forecourt. Right-hand dribble over to Ava Escaleta. Shot is up and good. 3-point shot. And that was by Rosen. 6-4. Checking in for the Cards will be Peterborg. Coons will inbound it right here in front of us. Checking out is Richardson. Ball is knocked out of bounds as Burnside gets a hand on it, knocks it away from Franson. So Soda will do it right in front of the Bulldog bench. Bounce pass comes into Gibson. Gibson up top between the circles, gets it over to Franson. Franson up top on the angle, needs some help, gets it to Coons. Coons drives, kicks it over, shot up by Peterborg is no good, and Ririe down with the rebound. 3:30 to go in the first quarter. Bulldogs lead it by 2. Shot up by Escaleta is no good. Gibson down with the rebound. And we got a whistle. Might have been a reach in by Escaleta. So they'll have the ball on the side. First foul on the Bulldogs. Soda has 2. Checking out is Franson. Checking back in is Ali Osborne. Ball is taken away down the left side, and it's up and in as Stewart, who was checked into the ball game. Nice left-handed shot. Ball comes up the floor to Osborne and traveling as Coons, Brinley Coons, took a little extra step. I think she is about 3'10". She runs the point on the zone. 1-2-2 zone. Goes over to the right side to Young. High post goes in to Clark. And we got a whistle, and the Bulldogs turn it over. 2:51 to go in the first, 8-4. Well, ooh, that was a one. Goes to Gibson. Gibson drops it to Osborne. Osborne traps in the corner, goes to Coons. Back outside to Gibson. Shot up, no good. Stewart down with the rebound for Ririe. Stewart down the left side will bring it back up top between the circles. Over to Escaleta on the right wing. Goes to Young. Inside ball was lost but picked up. Shot is up and no good. As Young had a real nice look and it's put back up and in by Clark. So Ririe with a 6-point lead. They take the ball away. It's 10-4. Ririe is mostly juniors and sophomores. Escalera, that 3-point shot rattles around, pops out. But Stewart down with the rebound. 10-4, minute 50 to go in the first quarter. High post, nice hard drive. Shot is up and no good by Rosen. Coons comes out of there with it. She's cut off by Young. Up the floor, over the head of Gibson. Gibson did a nice job of running that down. Then she throws it away. Tried to hit Allie Osborne in the middle of the paint. Back outside is Stewart. Right angle to Escaleta. High post. Almost threw it over the head of Young. Soder takes it away. Coons on the drive. Coons down the right side. Kicks it to Gibson. Back to Coons. Coons hooked up a pass underneath. Went right to left and hooked it back up and missed it. And Ririe down with the rebound. 10-4, 1 minute to go in the first. Nice hard drive. That's by Rosen. She puts it in and she was fouled. 12-4. Foul is against Coons. Checking in is Richardson. At the line is Stewart. Shot is up and no good. 50 seconds to go in the first. Gibson ball is stolen away by Newton. Newton drives out. What a hook shot by Stewart. Wow, that was nice. 14-4. 35 seconds as Gibson down the right side for the Cards. Franson pulls up, cut off, ball taken away by Stewart. Stolen by Franson. Franson drives in and scores. 4 points for Denolise Franson. 15 seconds to go in the first. Stewart on the left wing, back up top to Lundquist. Inside. Ooh, she walked. Yeah, she did. Rosen, little extra step. So Ririe turns it over. Bulldogs up by 8. 8 seconds. 5 seconds. And we got a whistle. The foul's going to go against Clark. It's just a second foul on Ririe. So they'll have the ball on the side with 5.3 seconds. It'll be Peterborg to inbound the ball. Ball stolen away and she walked. She knew it. Maddie Newton forgot to put the ball on the floor. Big old smile on her face. Brinley Coons checks in for Taylor Peterborg. Ball comes in and have a foul or a jump ball. Might have been a foul on Richardson. Yeah. That's her first. 0.7 seconds, and that's the end of the first quarter. So at the end of 1, it is Ririe 14 and Soda 6. Games going on tonight in southeast Idaho. Thunder Ridge is at Blackfoot. Century's at Burley. Canyon Ridge is at Idaho Falls. Highland is at Minico. Boise's at Rigby. Dietrich is at Rockland. Whiting is at Skyline. So a few games going on tonight. State football, once again, West Side is playing Nampa Christian over at, what do you call it, the ICCU Dome, still Holt Arena to me. And Aberdeen lost to Ririe earlier today, yesterday, 14-8. Grace, they've got Kendrick at the Kibbe Dome in Moscow. That started at 6 o'clock. Ririe ball to begin the second quarter. Ball comes into Stewart. Stewart works to the right angle across the top over to Lundquist, left side. There's a drive and nice drive, and that was actually knocked out of bounds by Ririe. I thought that went off a white jersey. Full court pressure by the Bulldogs. It is Osborne in the backcourt, gets it to Franson, up the floor to Allie Osborne. She'll leave it for Franson, down in the corner to Haley Osborne. She'll bring it back outside. Back in the corner, Franson, one-handed shot. That was partially blocked, and Lundquist comes out of there with it for the Bulldogs. Goes over to the right wing to Newton. Back up top to Lundquist, across the top over to Stewart on the left angle. High post. Oh, that was a nice idea, but threw it behind Clark. Once again, full court pressure for the Bulldogs. Ball comes into Franson. Franson cut off in the back court, gets it up to Osborne. Got to get it across the timeline. And Coach Sims calls timeout. She could feel that 10-second call coming. So they're struggling to get it across the half court line. I'm going to butcher this name. How do you say that, Coach? Billiken? Billiken Sims? That's kind of how you spell it. I hope that's how you say it. Ririe leads 14-6, and that was the score at the end of the first quarter. 1 minute gone in the second quarter. It'll be Osborne to inbound the ball, gets it into Coons. Coons cross the timeline to the right angle, goes inside to Richardson. Richardson turns, shoots. No good. Nice rebound by Haley Osborne, and she was fouled. So they didn't shoot a free throw in the first quarter. This will be their first trip to the line. And it'll be Haley Osborne, a sophomore. Shot is up and no good. Whirled around and popped out. She'll get one more. To Haley Osborne. Second shot. That one off the front of the rim. Battle for the rebound. And it was Richardson that came down with it. Coons a three-point shot. Banks off, no good. Down with the rebound was Burnside. To Lundquist. Back outside. A three-point shot is good by Newton. 17-6. Bulldogs. Franson double teamed in the backcourt. Gets it up to Osborne. Osborne across the timeline. High post to Richardson. Turns, shoots. Down with the rebound is Allie Osborne. Coons a three-point shot. Rattled around, popped out. Into the forecourt for Ririe is Stewart. Working against Coons. Goes over to Lundquist. Ball is knocked away. Richardson tried to save it. but saved it right to Clark, and Clark puts it in. 19-6. Ball comes up to Haley Osborne. Underneath, the shot is up by Allie Osborne, and she was fouled. Had a good look. Just needed to finish it. Osborne will go to the line for two. Allie Osborne, just a freshman. Shot is up and good. Nice shot right down to the bottom of the well for Allie. Checking in for the Bulldogs is Young and Escaleta. Allie will get one more. She's a pretty big kid. Don't have any heights on the Soda kids. I do on Ririe. Yeah, kind of a funny look. She missed everything. That was a 14, 15-foot shot. Ball comes into Escaleta. Soda behind by 12. Across the top over to Lundquist. High post. Escaleta 3-point shot. Caroms off. Lundquist down with the rebound. Ball almost taken away. I think we're going to get a jump ball as Gibson and I think it was Lundquist that tied up. Be Soda's ball on the possession. Once again, Ririe a 2-2-1 full court press. Ball is over the head of Franson. Ririe comes up with it. It is Young outside. We'll leave it for Escaleta over to Lundquist. High post. Goes to Young. Young did a good job just getting rid of that one. Rebound comes down to Young, and she banks it in. 21-7. Ball comes into Osborne, and she lost it. Ball off the rim. I think that was actually a pass. And Franson with it to Gibson. Gibson down the right sideline. Pulls up. That's a good pass they intended for Richardson. Escaleta did a good job of stepping in front. Soda's ball underneath their own basket. It'll be Haley Osborne to inbound the ball for the Cards. Got a couple of Cards checking in. Peter Borg and Allie Osborne, Franson, and Richardson will check out. Run a little mixer up top. Got to get it in. Gibson has it knocked away. Taken away by Lundquist. Lundquist, nice pass underneath. The shot was missed by Burnside, but that was a beautiful pass. Burnside will go to the free throw line. And that foul was against Gibson. Burnside at the line. Shot is up. No good. She'll get one more. We've still got plenty of room for you. First game of the season for the Lady Cards. Burnside puts the second one up and in. She even did that left-handed. Comes in. Oh, Coons has it knocked away. Coons and Lundquist battle for it. We're going to get a jump ball. This one will belong to Ririe. Franson will check back in for the Cards. Also, Haley Osborne. Lob comes in. Nice pass. Entry pass. Soda comes down with the rebound. Gibson is cut off. And they're going to say Soda knocked it out of bounds on the sideline. 4:24 to go until halftime. Ball comes in to Escaleta. Bounce pass, high post. Goes over to the left wing, back outside, Lundquist. Escaleta back to Lundquist, between the circles. Goes over to Burnside. Burnside gets it over to Young. Escaleta, 3-point shot, no good. Ririe down with the rebound. Lundquist 3-point shot. That's short off the rim, and Soda will let it go out of bounds. Soda ball on the side. in the back court. Richardson will check in for Osborne. Matt reminds her to check in at the table. That's a technical foul. Franson in the back court, and they're going to say Escaleta reached in. That's her second foul. Ava Escaleta. Peterboard to inbound the ball, gets it into Gibson. Back to Franson. Franson trying to get around the full court press. Gets it up to Peterboard. Richardson from the free throw line. That's no good. Gibson couldn't quite run the rebound down. Long lead pass to Lundquist. Lundquist underneath got kind of tangled up. Escaleta with the rebound. Young, a three-point shot. That caroms off no good. But Escaleta with the rebound will bring it back up top. Escaleta, 5'2". There's a little hook shot up and in by Rosen. Soda has scored 1 point in this second quarter, and the Bulldogs have put up 10. It's 24-7. Gibson will check out. Osborne, or make it Coons, will check back in. I want to see Coons and Escaleta get back to back. Except Escaleta checked out. One is 4'8" and the other is 4'4". She's a little firecracker, is Brinley Coons. Lundquist over to Young on the left angle, back to Youngquist, over to Stewart. Goes down on the baseline to Rose, and shot up and in by Lundquist. Getting totally dominated here. There's a steal by Stewart. Goes out of bounds, and she couldn't quite control it. Checking in is Clark. 3 fouls against Ririe, 2 against Soda here in this quarter. Full court pressure has really worked for the Lady Bulldogs. More than anything, it takes. Ooh, that was a double dribble. Dang it. I've still got that zebra blood, and I hate it when I see it before they do. Coons, I'm not sure she was sure that what she did. A good referee will actually explain it. Stewart, a bomb from the right corner. Stewart has 7 points. 29-7. Little bump by Stewart. Should be the 4th foul. Who'd they call that on? The board shows Escaleta, but she's not even in the ball game. Now they're going to say it was Young. Checking in for Soda is Xander. Carly Xander. Ball comes into the back court to Coons. Coons, nice dribble into the forecourt. 2:10 to go until halftime. Franson cut off along the baseline, but she tried to kind of wiggle her way to the basket, and she drew the foul. Foul's going to be against Lundquist. That's her second. 5 fouls now on Ririe. Franson at the line. Shot is up and caroms off. Franson has 4 points. Soda is 1 for 5 from the free throw line. Shot up by Franson. Dances on the rim, won't drop. Rebound down by Young. Young will bring it into the forecourt. High post, it goes to Rosen, kicks it back outside to Stewart. Stewart on the angle on the right side, bounce pass at a high post. Nice defense as Franson rips it away. Franson needs some help. Gets a bounce pass to Osborne, still in the back court. Goes to Coons and she threw it over her head. That would probably be easy to do. Pressure in the back court by the Bulldogs has been really good. High posts, they work it to Rosen, back to Young. Young outside on the right angle, across over to Stewart. Stewart on the left angle, it goes to Newton. Back outside to Stewart. Right wing, they work it to Young. Lob comes inside. It was almost a walk. Shot up from the outside, no good. Stewart with the rebound was foul. Stewart, a 5'5" sophomore, had 7 points, and she'll go to the free throw line. That foul was on Gibson. Nope, change it. It was on Osborne, her second. Shot up, short off the front of the rim. She'll get one more. Checking back in is Gibson and Stewart. One more free throw, a minute 4 to go until halftime. High arcing shot, bounces on the rim and drops in. Gibson lost the handle on it. Got to get it across the timeline. Franson has the ball knocked away, and that's going to be timeout Soda because once again, the pressure in the back court, that would have been a 10-second violation. 30-7. I think that's a 23-point lead. Been all Ririe here in the first half. And they have totally dominated the second quarter. First quarter, it was 14-6. Bulldogs led by 8. And here in this second quarter, they've put up 16 points. Soda just won. Gibson will inbound the ball on the side in the back court. Ball will come into Coons. Coons will face Stewart as she gets it across the timeline. Little stutter dribble on the side. Franson from the free throw line, no good. Rebound down to Newton. Young will bring it across the timeline with 30 seconds. Over to the right side, they work it to Rosen. Back outside, Stewart, 3-point shot, caroms off. Gibson with the rebound, 20 seconds. Gibson lead pass to Franson. Franson about an 18-footer, that's short off the rim. Stewart for Ririe down with the rebound. Good defense by Coons. Kind of got Stewart tangled up, and she lost the ball off her leg out of bounds. Peterborg will check in. Ririe has pulled the full court pressure off with 6.3 seconds to go in the half. Ririe leading 30-7. Franson, 2 seconds. There's a long shot that is short, and it is halftime. Ririe 30 and Soda 7. Soda could only manage a free throw in that second quarter. Give me just a sec. I'll add it up for you, and we'll be back with halftime. Okay, I think I got it. For the Bulldogs, Addison Burnside with 1 point, one of two from the free throw line. 3 points for Maddie Newton, hit a 3 point shot. 3 points for Nalia Young, had a 2 point basket and was one of two from the free throw line. 8 points for Autumn Stewart. She had a three and two 2 point baskets, was one of two from the free throw line. 7 points for Maya Rosen. She had a three and two 2 point shots. 4 points for Kayleen Clark, two 2 point baskets. And Lulu Lundquist had 4 points on two 2 point baskets. Didn't add up Ryrie's free throw. They were 3 of 6 from the free throw line, committed 6 personal fouls. For Soda, Allie Osborne with 3 points. She had a two, was one of three from the free throw line. And Danielle Franson with 4 points. She was 2 twos in the first quarter, 0 for 2 from the free throw line. And Hallie Osborne was 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Soda hit on 1 of 6 from the free throw line, committed 7 personal fouls. At the end of the first quarter, Ririe led it by 8. It was 14-6. And then the Bulldogs outscored Soda 15-1 in the second quarter. And they have a 16-point lead here at halftime. Or excuse me, they hit 16 points in the second quarter. They have my brain to work, a 23-point lead here at halftime. Once again, state football today, a lot of it. Westside plays Nampa Christian at the ICCU Dome at Idaho State. That's at 8:15. And they beat West J last week 37-14. And Aberdeen, after beating Priest River 28-12, they lost to Ririe yesterday 14-8 up in the Kibbe Dome in Moscow. Grace, they started at 6 o'clock and they faced Kendrick. Kendrick, what, 3-time state champions? And then Kamiai will face Logos in the other semifinal. Grace beat Prairie last week 40-16. They beat Logos beat Hagerman 66-14. In the 6As, it's Rigby versus Rocky Mountain. Rigby beat Mountain View 42-28 last week. Rocky Mountain beat Eagle 13-6. Timberline will face Coeur d'Alene in the other 6A semi. Timberline beat Middleton 21-7, and Coeur d'Alene beat Madison 42-14. In the 5As, it'll be Hillcrest in one semi versus Twin Falls. Hillcrest beat Lakeland 35-14. Twin beat Century 22-7. In the other semi, it'll be Bishop Kelly versus Skyline. Bishop Kelly beat Blackfoot last week 40-8. Skyline beat Sandpoint 43-35. In the 4As, Fruitland will face Kimberly. Fruitland beat Buell 41-27 last week. Kimberly beat American Falls 42-0. In the other semi, it'll be Sugar versus Homedale. Sugar beat Snake 55-6. Homedale beat Weiser 30-22. In the 1As, Council will face Cary. Council beat Garden Valley 46-8. Cary beat Cordu Christ 40-34. And in the other semi, in the 1As, Tri-Valley will face Wallace. Tri-Valley beat Deary 82-32. Ooh, 8-man football. Wallace beat Genesee 68-66 in overtime. Little college stuff going on. BYU football, they will face TCU tomorrow in Provo. Lost to Texas Tech in Lubbock 29-7. Then the Cougars will be at Cincinnati to face the Bearcats. And then the Knights of Central Florida will be at BYU to finish out the regular season. BYU basketball, they are 3-0. They have wins over Villanova, Holy Cross, and Delaware. Huge game tomorrow for the Cougs. They will face number 3 UConn. That'll be played in Boston. I believe the Boston Gardens. Then next Friday, they'll face number 24 Wisconsin. And then BYU will be at Miami on November 25th. BYU is ranked number 7 in basketball. Houston is ranked number 1. Boise State football 6-3. They lost to Fresno, lost to the Bulldogs 30-7. They are at San Diego State tomorrow. That's an 8:30 kickoff. Then Colorado State will be at Boise next Saturday. And then the Broncos will finish up at Utah State in Logan on the 28th. Basketball, the Broncs are 2-1. Lost to Hawaii 79-78. They beat Utah Valley 101-77. And they beat the Vaqueros of UTRGV. I asked my buddy Brandon Moldenhauer what that stood for. He actually knew it. University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley. They're in Edinburgh, Texas. Then Montana State will be at Boise next Saturday. No, tomorrow to make it. Bobcats, of course, from Bozeman. Wichita State will be in Boise on Tuesday. And then Broncos will be at USC. That game will be in Hawaii. And then NC State, that'll be on Tuesday. That will also be in Hawaii. Utah State football, they are 5-4. They pounded the Wolfpack of Nevada 51-14 last week. They've got UNLV, they're in Las Vegas tomorrow. And then Boise State in Logan. Basketball, they are 2-0. Let me put my notes away and we'll start second half. It'll be Sodas basketball to begin the third quarter. Ball comes into Coons. Need to put my glasses on. Thought things were a little foggy. Goes to Osborne. Osborne has the pass picked by Young. Young drives in, a reverse layup. Rebound come down to Burnside. She puts it back up and in. Franson in the back court for the Cards. Double teamed, and she won. Little bunny hop by Franson. She was trying to get it over the head of two defenders, trying to get it to Coons. And little hop there, and Cards turn it over. Lundquist over to Young. Young back to Lundquist on the left angle. Bounce pass was tipped by Franson of Soda. Goes out of bounds. It'll belong to the Bulldogs underneath their own basket. It'll be Lundquist to inbound the ball for Ririe. She'll get the ball. Lob comes in straight to Burnside. Burnside missed a chippy. Rebound come down to Newton. Lundquist drives, middle of the paint, drops it in. She has 6 points. Coons. Cross the timeline, crossover dribble, down the left side, gonna put it up. Oh, what a nice drive by Coons, but she missed the layup, and then Soda knocked it out of bounds. It'll be Ririe basketball leading 34-7. The ball will come into Escaleta. Escaleta will bring it across the mid-stripe. Over to the right side on the angle to Young. Bounce pass at a high post. Beautiful pass underneath. And Burnside drops it in. She has 5 points. Coons in the back court. Up the floor to Richardson. Osborne has the ball ripped away by Young. Young down the right sideline. Drives to the baseline, puts up a one-hander, rims out. Franson with the rebound for Soda. Soda down the left sideline. Ooh, that might have been a walk. Tried to get it into Richardson. Richardson can't handle it. Goes out of bounds, and it'll go over to Ririe. Bulldogs leading 36-7. 29-point lead for Ririe. Lundquist on the left angle, back up top straight away between the circles to Escaleta. Bounce pass to Young, back to Escaleta, straight away. Coons on Escaleta, nice defense. Franson, and they call a foul on Franson. Nope, 3 seconds. Boy, they don't call that anymore. So Ririe will turn it over. They'll kind of set up a mid-court trap as the ball comes into Franson. Lob to Osborne. Osborne driving hard against Young. Cut off at the baseline. Needs some help. Bounce pass to Franson. And Franson traveled. 5:36 to go in the third quarter. Bulldogs lead it 36-7. Escaleta into the forecourt to Lundquist. Back to Escaleta. She works to the right angle. Up top to Young. Young right down the middle of the paint. Oh, what a nice shot by Young. Little bump there by Richardson, and she still got that to go in. 31-point lead for Ririe. Franson to Coons. Coons just about had the ball knocked away by Escaleta. That was a matchup I wanted to see. I believe Coons is an inch, maybe 2 inches shorter than Escaleta. Oh, splash! Franson. Franson with 6 points. 9-38. 29-point lead. Lundquist back to Escaleta. Works to the right angle. High post to Burnside. And there was a foul, I believe, before the shot. Ririe will take it out underneath their own basket. That foul is going to go against Hallie Osborne. Gibson will check in for Soda. Rosen will check in for Ririe. Ririe ball. Lob comes into Burnside. Out to Young. Whoa! That should have been a jump ball. Lundquist, high arcing shot, missed everything. And Franson will just let it go out of bounds. Peterborg will check in for Soda. Osborne will check out. 4:25 to go in the third quarter. Coons will bring it into the forecourt. Escaleta will pick her up straight away. Coons still has the dribble. Escaleta knocks it away and then knocked it out of bounds. She's really quick. They're about the same height. Escaleta is a little thicker. She's a junior. Comes into Coons. Coons is a freshman. Lob at a high post to Peterboard, taken away by Young. Young against Coons, and the bounce pass intended for Escaleta. Franson steps in front, knocks it out of bounds. Lundquist will take it out of bounds underneath the Ririe basket. Ball comes in to Rosen. Up top to Escaleta. Lundquist three-point shot. Caroms off. Great box out by Franson. And they're going to call Ririe over the back. And that's going to go against Burnside. And that's her second. Coons into the forecourt. Ooh, just about lost it. She's in trouble. Bounce pass to Gibson. Timeout. Coach Sims. She's having fun down there. I think she worked the scoring table last year. And good for her. Steps up and takes the JV team. And of course, Jeff Parker. He switched horses from the boys to the girls. Of course, his daughter, Jaden, what is she, a sophomore this year? Good player. 38-9. Soda has not even hit double digits, and we're halfway through the third quarter. It's always been a pretty good rivalry between Ririe and Soda. I've actually called a couple of state championship games with Soda and Ririe at the Idaho Center in Nampa. The Ririe JV team, of course, they're a lot more experienced. They have a couple of juniors and several sophomores. Soda mostly freshmen. Franson will take it out. Franson is a freshman, and she'll get it into another freshman, Coons. Coons working against a 2-3 zone. Goes the Gib. Ooh, she walked. Doggone it. Changed her mind right in the middle of the shot and took a step. Gibson had an open three. Now the officials are talking to each other. A little zebra conversation going on. I'm going to call both coaches. I think they're going to change their mind. One official is explaining to Coach Kaylee Brown why he is changing his mind or not. Oh, they called a technical foul on Soda is what happened. Shot is up and good. And that is by Rosen. She has 8 points. Another technical, and Ririe will get the possession. Swish right down to the bottom of the well for Rosen. She is a 5'7" junior. And the Bulldogs will have the ball at midcourt straight away. Lundquist will get it into the backcourt to Young. Back to Lundquist on the right angle. Bounce pass. Ooh, that's a walk. Oh, that was a walk. They missed that one. Gibson down with the rebound. In fact, that wasn't just 2 steps. That was 3 steps. It'll be Soda ball 94 feet away. Franson will inbound the ball to Coons. Peterboard checks in for Richardson. Ball comes into Coons. Coons, backcourt to the forecourt, gets a pick by Gibson, goes to Franson, 3-point shot. Peterborg with the rebound, and she's fouled. Good job by Taylor Peterborg. She'll go to the free throw line. That foul was against Clark. That's her second. Peterborg, first trip to the line. She hasn't scored yet. And that dances on the back of the rim and won't drop. We get one more. Set to check in is Newton for the Bulldogs. And Aaliyah Young will check out. Peterborg, one more. Puts it up there. Nice touch. So she hits one of two. 40-10, 30-point lead for the Ririe Junior Varsity. Goes over to Stewart. Shot from the side. I think they called that a two-pointer. And that was Clark. Ball is taken away by Ririe. Goes to Lundquist. Lundquist will bring it into the forecourt. Soda in a zone. Pass was intended for Newton. And a good job by Soda as Peterborg stepped in front of the pass. Ball belongs to Ririe. It'll be Young. Gets the ball into Newton. Back outside. They work it to Stewart. Over to Rosen. There's a drive by Young. Rims out. Rosen with the rebound and puts it back up and in. Not Rosen, Clark. 44-10, Ririe. Fredson, 3-point shot from the right side, no good. Young down with the rebound for Ririe. Got a minute 50 to go in the third. Stewart, a 3-point shot. Everybody kind of flat-footed on that rebound, and Franson took it down, and then a lead pass goes out of bounds as Coons couldn't catch up to it. Allie Osborne will check out. Hallie or Haley Osborne will check in. Young over to the right side to Stewart. Drop it in the low blocks. The shot up no good. And Newton couldn't quite catch up to that one. Goes out of bounds. It'll belong to the Cards. Haley Osborne to inbound it. Comes into Coons. Coons will bring it from the backcourt to the forecourt. Picked up by Stewart. Ooh, she carried that. Let them play. Shot up by Franson, no good. Peterborg with the rebound. Shot is blocked and taken out of the air by Newton. Newton to Young. High post. They work it to Rosen. Shot up by Clark. That caroms off. Franson knocks it out of bounds. It'll be Ririe ball out underneath their own basket. Gibson will check in for Coons. Have 58 seconds to go in the third. Lob into Clark. Rebound. Oh, that was a pretty good block. Yes, they got that right. Franson blocks the shot, and they call a jump ball. That's a good call. Franson looks like she's going to be a real nice player. Gibson into the forecourt, gets a pick from Peterborg. Bounce pass to the right wing in the corner to Franson. Franson on the right angle, 3-point shot. That was a little long. Rebounds down to Young. Young, an open three straight away, banked it in. I didn't hear her call bank, but I guess we'll give it to her. Franson works to the right wing, working for some help. Ball goes underneath to Gibson. Bad pass is picked off. They're going to call 3 seconds. Wow, that's the second 3-second call in this game. Write that down. Stewart into the forecourt. Young to the right side to Clark. Clark drives the baseline, and at the buzzer, they say no good. As Rosen put it in, and they say she was just a tick late. So at the end of 3, Ririe 47, Soda 10. Soda could only manage 3 points that quarter. Ririe put up 17. So Ririe outscored Soda by 14. 1 quarter to go. At the end of the first, it was 14-6. And Soda could only manage 1 point in the second quarter. And at halftime, it was 30-7 as Ririe put up 16 points in the second quarter. In the third quarter, Soda hit a 2-point basket by Franson and 1 of 2 from the line by Taylor Peterborg. And Ririe put up 17 points in that third quarter, and it is a 37-point lead. And I'm sure they'll put the mercy rule into effect where the clock will just run. It'll run, timeouts, fouls. Good looking Ririe team. They'll have the ball to begin the fourth quarter. The ball comes in to Stewart. Stewart across the top to Lundquist. Low block, shot blocked, taken by Clark outside. Lundquist to Stewart. Stewart, about a carry there. Franson went for the steal. Coons comes up with it. Coons takes it in against Stewart. Stewart's going to get the foul. Coons will go to the free throw line. She hasn't scored tonight. And she'll get a pair. That's a first foul on Autumn Stewart. Shot is up and off the front of the rim. Kuntz will get one more. Kuntz puts it up, and that one caroms off. Down with the rebound is Burnside. Burnside to Lundquist, threw it over her head. And Lulu Lundquist couldn't get up high enough to bring it down. Peterborg, Gibson, and Zander all check in for Soda. Richardson, Osborne, and Osborne check out. 47-10, minute and a half gone in the final quarter. Franson a 3-point shot. That missed everything. Ball will belong to the Bulldogs. And again, clock doesn't stop. It just keeps running. Lundquist, high post, ball taken away, and we're going to get a jump as Gibson, she's just a freshman, did a good job tying that up. Alternate possession belongs to Soda. Gibson will get it into Coons. Coons, almost a walk there, did a good job, and that one off the foot of Franson, out of bounds. 5:30 to go in the ball game. Stewart cross the top over to Lundquist, back to Lundquist. Stewart, left angle, works to Newton, back to Stewart, high post, goes to Burnside. Burnside drives in and drops it in. 49-10. Coons. To Franson, we got a whistle. Nice drive by Franson. That foul, I believe, is against Stewart. That'll be her second. So they'll have the ball out underneath their own basket. Comes into Gibson. Knocked out of Gibson's hands and then just reflexes. She touched it before it went out of bounds. It goes out of bounds. Vander checks out. Osborne checks in. One twist across the top. Goes down to the baseline. Shot is up by Newton. Newton trapped along the baseline. Finally got rid of it. Comes back outside to Stewart. One twist, high poles. Left-handed shot is a beauty by Burnside. She has 9 points. 4 minutes to go in the ball game. Goes over to Franson. Franson with a shot that's a little long. And Newton down with the rebound off to Stewart. Stewart between the circles over to Lundquist. Back to Stewart. Stewart on the right wing. Bounce pass at a high post. Clark with the shot. And Clark got her own, Burnside with the rebound. Shot is up no good. Well, that should have been a jump ball. Franson comes out of there with it. Lead pass to Osborne. Osborne leans in. That's no good. And Kayleen Clark down with the rebound. Trying to get a foul. I think that's against Peterborg. That's just her first. Peterborg and Gibson check out. Richardson and Osborne check in for the Cards. Ririe with a huge lead, 41 points. Goes over the right side to Young. Shot partially blocked by Osborne outside Lundquist. And I thought that might have been touched, but it wasn't. Soda will have the ball. Checking, have to check my messages. I got plenty of time to do that. Driving and missing a layup was Young. Frankson comes down with it, knocked away from behind, and Ririe can't catch up to him. Soda's ball out along their own baseline. It'll be Franson to inbound the ball. Ball comes outside to Coons. Coons, right wing, Franson, that's off the rim. Osborne with the rebound, and she might have been fouled by Newton. Well, for the Soda kids, it's kind of ugly. They'll only get better. This is a more experienced Ririe team, juniors and sophomores. Soda mostly freshmen. Coons backs it out up top between the circles over the left side. Osborne cut off and knocked out of bounds by Escaleta. 1:20, clock continues to run with the mercy rule. Franson gets it into Coons. 1:10 to go in the ball game. Coons, crossover dribble, crosses back, needs some help. Cut off by Lundquist, bounce pass to Osborne, and Young with the steal for Ririe. Ririe will get the ball into the forecourt to the right angle, down to 50 seconds. Ball taken away by Richardson. She gets it to Franson. Franson into the forecourt. Across the top, up to Osborne. Osborne looking inside. 35 seconds. Ooh, good job by Franson. Keep that from going into the backcourt. Osborne has her shot blocked. Escaleta comes away with it. And Escaleta's going to be fouled. And that was probably Franson. Yeah, it was. That's just Franson's first foul. Danielle Escaleta at the free throw line misses the first one. She'll get one more. Checking in for the Bulldogs is Rosen. Checking out is Newton. Escaleta, that one dances on the rim, no good. And the clock running during the free throws, and that's the end of the ball game. 51-10. Soda didn't score in that fourth quarter. Let me add up the scoring for you as the kids will shake hands at midcourt. 51-10 is the final on the junior varsity game. I can probably do this in my head. Addison Burnside with 9 points, 4 twos, all in the second half, and 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Ava Escaleta, 0 for 2 from the free throw line, did not score. Maddie Newton hit a 3 for 3 points. Nalia Young hit a 3 and 2 twos for 7 points. For Autumn Stewart, all her points came in the first half. She had a 3, 2 twos, and was 1 of 2 from the free throw line. So 8 points for Stewart. For Maya Rosen, she had 9 points. She had a 3, 2 twos, and was 2 for 2 from the free throw line. For Kayleen Clark, she had 4 twos for 8 points. And Lulu Lundquist, 6 points. She had 3 twos. Ririe hit on 5 of 10 from the free throw line, committed 11 personal fouls. For Soda, 3 points for Allie Osborne. She had a 2 and was 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Richardson did not score. Brinley Coombs was 0 for 2 from the free throw line, and she did not score. Taylor Peterborg was 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 1 point. Hallie Osborne 0 for 2 from the free throw line, did not score. And Danielle Franson hit 3 twos for 6 points, was 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Soda hit on 2 of 10 from the free throw line, committed 10 personal fouls. At the end of the first quarter, Ririe led it 14-6. And then in the second quarter, Bulldogs outscored the Cards by 15 as they put up 16 points to just 1 for Soda. And at halftime, it was 30-7. In the third quarter, Ririe put up 17 points, outscoring the Cards by 14. And it was 47-10 at the end of 3. And at the end of the fourth quarter, Ririe put up 4 points in the fourth quarter. Soda did not score in the fourth quarter. And the final, the Ririe Junior Varsity beat Soda 51-10. Have the varsity game coming up. This should be a little better matchup for the Cards. Let's see where I left off with college. Utah State, once again, 5-4. They beat the Wolfpack of Nevada Reno last week, 51-14. They'll be in Las Vegas tomorrow to face UNLV. It's pretty good UNLV Rebel team. That's at a 5 o'clock kickoff. And then the Aggies will be in California to face Fresno State next Saturday. And then to finish the regular season, they'll have Boise State in Logan at Merlin Olsen Field. That'll be November 28th. Basketball, the Aggies are 2-0. They beat VCU, Virginia Commonwealth, 80-77. Beat Weber State. The Wildcats were in Logan last Wednesday, and that one was 83-73. Tomorrow they've got the UTEP Miners in Logan, and then they'll travel to Charleston, South Carolina next weekend, and they'll face the Green Wave of Tulane, Idaho. Football, they are 4-6. They lost to UC Davis. That was in Davis, California. If you're not sure where that is, it's right by almost a suburb of Sacramento. And the 49ers end up beating the Vandals 28-14. Tomorrow, they'll be at Sac State. Well, almost in the exact same area. They'll face the Hornets tomorrow. And then they'll finish with Idaho State in Moscow Saturday, the 22nd. Vandals are 2-1 in basketball. They beat Washington State, the Cougars, 83-81. They beat Whitman 94-49. Lost to the Toreros of San Diego, 78-74. They are at UC San Diego. I'm not sure who that is. It's in La Jolla, California. And then next Saturday, they'll have Eastern Washington in Moscow. Idaho State football, they are 4-6. They got Weber State. That's a big rivalry between the Bengals and the Wildcats. That'll be in Pocatello tomorrow. And then they'll finish in Moscow at Idaho next Saturday. Idaho State actually has 2 wins in a row. They beat UC Davis in Davis, California, 38-36, and they beat Cal Poly last week. That was in Pocatello, and that was 27-17. They finish at Idaho in Moscow tomorrow. Basketball, the Bengals are 2-1. Lost to the Toreros of San Diego, 73-57. They are at Seattle Sunday, and then Tuesday they'll be at Santa Clara. Friday they'll have Justice University, the Lions. Where are they from? They're from Chandler, Arizona, and they'll be in Pocatello next Friday. Weber State, they are 3-7. And they are at Idaho State tomorrow. This is football. And then they'll have the Lumberjacks of Northern Arizona in Ogden next Saturday at Stewart Stadium. Basketball, Wildcats are 1-2. They lost to Utah and lost to Utah State. They are at UC Irvine tomorrow. And then they'll have Campbell University in Ogden on Tuesday. If you follow the Jazz, they're offering 4-7. Kind of like last year. They See, last night I didn't pick up that score. They had, and I'm not sure whether that was at the Delta Center or in Atlanta. Anyway, they faced the Hawks last night. Sunday, they'll have the Bulls in Salt Lake. And then Tuesday, the Jazz, they will be at the Lakers. So the girls' schedule, of course, Ririe tonight. This is always a good matchup with the Bulldogs. JV, it didn't turn out so well. And then next Friday, they'll face the Panthers of Parma at Parma. And they'll head down the street just a little ways and face the Lady Mustangs on Saturday, November 22nd. So they'll be at Melbourne. Then they travel to St. George. Know it very well. They'll be at the Desert Hills tournament. That'll be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, December 4th, December 5th, and December 6th. Of course, I've mentioned a few times my kids all grew up in St. George. Two of them went to Snow Canyon. In fact, my daughter was student body president for the Warriors. And my son played on a state championship football team for Snow Canyon. And then returning back from St. George, we'll have the Trojans of Wendell here in Soda Springs. And that'll be December 12th. And then the Cards travel out to Declo on December 13th. So Friday, we've got Wendell here. And then we head out to Declo on Saturday. Ririe, of course, we got a few Bulldog fans listening. At Soda tonight, next Tuesday, the 18th, Bulldogs will be at Malad. Malad again, very, very good. And then they'll have South Fremont at Ririe. That'll be Wednesday the 19th. Then they'll be at Teton or face, what are they now? The Timberwolves? Still the Chiefs to me. So that'll be Friday the 21st. And then the Bulldogs will be at a very good Bear Lake team down in Montpelier. About 8 minutes away from starting lineups and the national anthem here in Soda Springs. In the conference, Malag is at American Falls. That is tonight. And then Ririe will be at Malad on Tuesday to face the Lady Dragons. West Side, they've got West J, the Panthers from Torrington. They'll be in Dayton tomorrow. And then the Pirates will be at Morse Valley on Wednesday. Aberdeen, they've got the Grizz. Grace will be at Aberdeen on Tuesday. And then the Tigers will be at North Fremont to face the Lady Huskies on Thursday. Declo, the Lady Hornets, they will be at Buell on Tuesday. And then Nampa Christian, the Lady Trojans, will be at Declo next Friday. Wendell, they'll have Shoshone at Wendell tomorrow. And then the Lady Trojans will head on out to Murtaugh, and that will be on Tuesday. Games tonight in southeast Idaho. Thunder Ridge will be at Blackfoot. Centuries at Burley. Canyon Ridge is at Idaho Falls. Lady Rams of Highland will face Minico, the Lady Spartans. Boise will be at Rigby. It's a little bit of a hike from Boise to Rigby. Dietrich will be at Rockland tonight, and Owyhee, the defending 6A champs, will be at Skyline. About 6 minutes away. Football, once again, the state playoffs were in the semis. Ririe, the Bulldogs, beat Aberdeen yesterday in a good game at Idaho State. That was 14-8. Aberdeen entered the semis with a win over Priest River last week, 28-12. West Side, and this was an 8:15 kickoff. Pirates will face Nampa Christian Trojans at Idaho State in the ICCU Dome. They beat West J last week, 37-14. Grace, they've really got a challenge tonight, and they're all the way over in Moscow at the Kibbe Dome at the University of Idaho. That was a 6 o'clock kickoff. Grace versus Kindred. In the other semi, in the 2A, Kamei will face Logos. Grace beat Prairie last week, 40-16. Logos beat Hagerman, 66-14. In the 6A semis, Rigby, they will face Rocky Mountain. And Rigby beat Mountain View 42-28 last week. Rocky Mountain beat Eagle in a good one, 13-6. In the other semi, Timberline will face Coeur d'Alene. Timberline beat Middleton 21-7 last week, and Coeur d'Alene beat Madison out of Rexburg 42-14. In the 5As, in the one semi, it'll be Hillcrest. The Knights will face the Bruins of Twin Falls. Hillcrest beat Lakeland 35-14 last week. Twin beat Century, and that was a good Diamondback team. But the Bruins with the win 22-7. Bishop Kelly in the other semi in the 5As will face the Bruins, Skyline out of Idaho Falls. Bishop Kelly beat Blackfoot 40-8. Skyline beat Sandpoint 43-35. In the 4As, in the first semi, it will be Fruitland versus Kimberly. Fruitland beat Buell 41-27. Kimberly beat American Falls. Score that kind of surprised me. The Beavers are a pretty good team this year. Kimberly wins 42-0 to put them in the other semi game. Sugar will face Homedale. Sugar beat Skyline 55. No, excuse me. Can't read my own writing. The Beat Diggers beat Snake 55-6 last week. Homedale beat Weezer 30-22. In the 1As, Council will face Cary in the one semi. Council beat Garden Valley 46-8. Cary beat Cordu Priest 40-34. In the other semi, in the 1As, it'll be Tri-Valley versus Wallace. Tri-Valley beat Deary 82-32. And Wallace in overtime beat Genesee 68-66. About a minute and a half away from the national anthem and starting lineups for the varsity game. Junior varsity, well, they kind of come out on a real short stick, losing to the Ririe junior varsity, 51-10. Yeah, I said that right. Both teams come over to the side, and we'll get ready for the national anthem. Kind of got a pit band for soda. And down there in the corner, we need more Cardinal crazies to fill the bleachers. Not a bad crowd across the way. Of course, this is the first game of the season. Cardinal cheerleaders will present colors. We got some flags along the baseline. And there is Jeff Horsley. Well, let me see if I can just pick that up on the mic for you. Ladies, the Cardinal cheerleaders in all black with red trim tonight. Big white bows, They'll do the sportsmanship code. Please be an example to those around you. And remember, cheer loud, cheer proud, cheer your team. Oh, that isn't Jeff Horsley. That's one of the students. Good voice. Need him to come up here and call the game. Now, yeah, we'll get on the mic. So the soda kids are to my right in white with black numbers, Ririe, and royal blue and gold, or yellow if you prefer. Flag drops out of the northwest corner, and we'll have the national anthem. The Silver Springs High School cheerleading departments will be bringing honor and attention to the colors. And there are the cheerleaders and the Cardettes. Here's your national anthem, I think. Yeah, I think they hit all the notes. They'll retire the flag. We'll get the national anthem or the starting lineups. We'll be ready to go. Nice job, Pet Burn. Let me get my Hat back on so I don't blind people with my white hair. Lauren Robeson will start. Eden Jensen will start for the Bulldogs. Natalie Young. Lucy Boone. McCall Marsh. Head coach is Jake Landon. This should be a pretty good matchup. I'll introduce the cards. Well, I knew they were going to do that. Turn the lights out on us. It's dark. Jaden Harper, a sophomore. Courtney Bronny. Rosie Harris. I get a kick out of the gals. They jump up and fist bump. Ellie Woods, Jaden Parker, Courtney Bronning, Rosie Harris, and Maddie Kempe get the start for Soda. For Ririe, Lauren Robeson, Eden Jensen, Macaulay Young, Lucy Boone, and McCall Marsh. We are ready to go here. First varsity game of the season, Ririe in blue, Soda in white. It'll be Kempe jumping against Marsh. Tap comes down, controlled by Ririe. It is Jensen, and the ball knocked out of bounds by the Clerks. Ririe with the ball on the side. The ball comes in to Boone. Over to the left wing, they work it to Jensen. Right side to Robeson. Open shot on the left wing. Parker has the ball taken away. I think they're going to call a foul on Eden Jensen. This will be a little different than the first game. Foul went against Eden Jensen. First game of the night. It'll be Courtney Cronin. She'll be picked up by Boone. Goes to Wood. Wood almost has the ball knocked away over to Parker. Parker between the circles over to Groning. Groning brings it back up top to Jaden Parker. Parker is covered by Boone between the circles over to Groning. Shot clock is at 8. Goes into Rosie Harris. Harris turns, shoots, and that didn't hit the rim. And Sharon's point shot by Groning. And Riley just turned the ball over. Think it was a foul. Foul is going to go against Robeson. 2 fouls early here against Ririe. Harris gets it into Wood. Wood outside. 3-point shot by Grunning. That was wide to the left side. Ball is knocked out of Grunning's hands out of bounds. Soda ball on the side. It'll be Harris to inbound the ball. Comes into Grunning. Grunning on the right angle to Parker. Parker bounce pass. Bad pass is picked off by Young. Goes from Jensen to Young. Back to Jensen. There's about a 23-footer. That one was from the parking lot, knocked out of bounds by the Lady Bulldogs. We saw the ball on the side, leading 3-0. It'll be Rosie Harris to get the ball in to Courtney Grunning. Grunning across the timeline, gets a pick from Wood, goes to the corner to Parker, back to Grunning. Parker on the left wing, Grunning between the circles, over to Wood. Wood needs some help, just about had it picked. Grunning drives, throws up a running one-hander. Kempe with the rebound, has his shot blocked, coming down with it. It was Boone. On a foul against Soda. I think it's going to go against Ellie Wood. So that's Soda's first foul. To inbound the ball for the Bulldogs will be Jensen. Soda, full court pressure. Jensen gets it in to Boone. Goes to Robeson. Back to Boone. 3-point shot. Gets banked in. And that was by Eden Jensen. We're tied at 3. Right side to Rosie Harris. Harris on the right angle, goes to Grunning on the right wing, drops it into Ellie Wood. We're going to get a jump ball. Possession will belong to Soda. Checking in for the Cards will be Anna Davis. Anna is a junior. Ball comes out to Parker. Parker to Davis. Davis straight away. Drives, and shot is blocked by Marsh. Ririe comes down with it. It'll go to Robeson. It was backcourt, and I'll tell you why here in just a second. Open three-point shot, splash! Robeson. One of the Ririe kids jumps up in the air from the backcourt, took the pass and landed in the forecourt. That's backcourt. You're still in the backcourt until you've planted your feet in the forecourt. And the entire body has to be across that line. Ririe leads it by 3. Right wing, they dropped it into Grunning. Grunning along the baseline to Harris. Harris on the wing. Shot up by Parker, no good. Down with the rebound is Young. Goes from Boone. In the paint, nice shot by Marsh. And Ririe takes a 5-point lead. Grunning into the forecourt over to Parker on the right angle. There's a bump by Young. Checking in for the Bulldogs is Gallup. Checking in for Soda, Josie Tingley. Gallup. I lived in Gallup for a little while. Well, maybe 6 years longer than I wanted to. They spell it the same way. Gallup, New Mexico. Running one-hander. The ball is tied up. Kempe ties it up. Alternate possession will go to Ririe. To inbound the ball will be Jensen. Full court pressure by Soda. Wow, they're calling this one tight. I think they call that against Josie Tingy. And that's her first foul. Ririe ball on the side, leading by 5. So that's both Tingy sisters there. There's a steal by Josie. Into the corner. Shot up by Paley. Josie missed a chippy. Anna Davis for the Cards, down with the rebounds. Up top, Taylor's Tingy rims out. Tough luck shot. Ririe down with the rebound. It's Jensen. And oh boy, are they calling this tight. I'm going to call that one against Kempe. 3 fouls apiece. Ririe ball on the side, right in front of the Soda bench. It'll be Jensen. She'll get the ball into Boone. 3-point shot. Got it. Jensen with her second 3. That is 3 threes by the Bulldogs, and they lead by 8. Groning over the left side to Davis. Anna Davis back in the corner. That was tipped out of bounds by Jensen. Checking in for the Bulldogs is Robeson. And Robeson. Sounds like a law firm. They almost look like twins. So one was a senior, and then they're both seniors. It'll be Groning outside between the circles, picked up by Gallup. Goes to Tingy to Wood. Wood straight away, 8 seconds, 7 seconds. 3-point shot up by Groning, hits the rim. Rebound taken by Marsh. She's a big kid. Goes over to Gallup. Gallup over to Robeson. Back to Gallup. Goes to the left wing. Hard drive. Running one-hander scores. And that is Jensen. And she has 8 of the 13 points. And Ririe leads by 10. Crossover dribble by Groning. Goes to Tingy. 3-point shot. Caroms off. And down with the rebound is Jensen for Ririe. Galloped into the forecourt. Knocked out of bounds by Ward. Pass was intended for Eden. Eden Jensen. Parker will check in for Groning. Soda with just one basket. That was a 3-point shot by Courtney Groning. Jensen to inbound the ball for the Bulldogs. 13-3. Ball comes into Robeson to Gallup. Back to Robeson. High post. What a nice shot. And that was by Young, and Coach Matt Groning calls timeout as the Cardinals are being dominated here in the first quarter. Kempe and Harris check in for Soda. 60-second climb out. Ririe leads it by 12. Soda starts 4 seniors and the sophomore Jaden Parker. Anna Davis, a junior, has got in. Josie Tingy, a junior, and Taylor Tingy, a sophomore. So they need to figure something out here. You got to stop Eden Jensen. She has 8 points. Ririe has dropped in 3 3-point shots. Harris will take it out 94 feet away. Soda ready to go. Ririe ready to go. Harris into Groning. Groning, the point guard, into the forecourt over to Parker on the angle. Goes in the corner. Groning to Kempe. Kempe lost the ball out of bounds. And they say the Bulldogs touched it. So Soda will have the ball out underneath their own basket. It'll be Rosie Harris to inbound the ball. Harris in the corner to Parker. Parker, dangerous pass to Wood. Long shot. Splash by Groning. That was about a 25-footer. Crossover dribble almost knocked away from Young. 3-point shot, missed everything, and Harris down with the rebound to Ellie Wood. Wood pushes it into the forecourt, pulls up Groning, another deep one. That's off. Groning got her own rebound, goes to Parker. Parker a 3-point shot, and Jensen down with the rebound for Ririe. Up to Gallup. Gallup back to Jensen. Jensen to Gallup on the right angle. That's going to be a foul on Groning. Will be Courtney's first. Gallup will inbound the ball on the side. Comes into Robeson. He got a foul. That might have been Gronin's second foul. Two really quick fouls on Courtney. Checking in will be Josie Tingu, probably for Groning. That's 5 fouls on Soto. And that'll put Ririe at the free throw line. Robeson. Shot is up. No good. Groning will check out with the 2 fouls. And Josie Tingy checks in for the Cards. Shot is up. Second one is good by Robeson. 10-point lead, 16-6. Goes to Anna Davis. Davis back up top to Harris to Tingy. Tingy inside to Kempy. Kempy is fouled by Moss. Maddie Kempy will go to the free throw line. Shot up by Kempy is good. She'll get one more. Maddie, a senior for Soda. She'll get one more. Shot is up. Splash right down to the bottom of the well as she hits them both. And Harris, just about got the pick and just didn't quite come up with it. Goes to Gallup to Marsh. Marsh back to Gallup. Gallup up top between the circles to Robeson, back to Gallup. Gallup working against Tingley. Goes across down in the corner to Young. Back outside, Robeson, splash! 3-point shot by Robeson. That's her second one. 19-8 as Parker into the forecourt to Tingy to Harris. Harris fakes, drives, and we're going to get a reach. And that reach is going to go against Robeson. That's her second. 5 team fouls apiece, and that'll put Harris at the free throw line. Checking out is Boone. Checking in is Hallie Robeson. Harris, shot, no good. Hit the front of the rim. Checking in is Boone this time. Checking out is Robeson. Harris, second shot. She got the second one to go in. She had to talk to it. Just kind of spun over the front of the rim. 10-point lead for the Bulldogs. Full court pressure by Soda. Ball comes into Boone. Ball is taken away. Parker has it stolen right back by Gallup. Oh, Bulldogs had somebody all over, and they're going to call a jump ball as Parker ties the ball up. Alternate possession should belong to Soda. Going to be Josie Tingy to inbound the ball. Comes into Jaden Parker. Parker to Taylor Tingy. Tingy got 2 seconds, and Ryrie's just going to hold it. And at the end of the first quarter, Soda 9 and Ririe 19. Ririe outscores the Cards by 10 in that quarter. They hit 4 3-point shots, 3 2-point shots, and was 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Courtney Grunning hit 2 threes. Rosie Harris, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. And Maddie Kempy was 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Once again, remind you that American Falls, the Lady Beavers, will be here in Soda tomorrow night JV game starts at 6 o'clock, and the varsity game will start at 7:30. Cards huddled up around Matt Browning, Jeff Parker, helping out this year. It's two really good coaches. They need to figure something out. They're behind by 10 as Gallup will inbound the ball to Boone. Boone into the forecourt with a right-hand dribble. Cross court, right angle, back to Gallup, back to Boone. Swinging out is Jensen. Has an open three. You can't give her that. And that is her third three-point shot. She has 11 points. Groning outside to Jaden Parker. Cross court to Ellie Wood. Groning a three-point shot. Harris down with the rebound. Leans in. And that is either Morse or Young on the foul. It's going to be Young. And that's her first. First foul of the second quarter. Rosie Harris, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Shot is up and good. Right down to the bottom of the well. She'll get one more. 12-point lead for the Bulldogs. Harris for one more. Shot is up. Falls off the rim. Marsh down with the rebound. Gallup. And ball picked off by Harris to Wood. Wood across over to Gronin. Gronin will bring it back up top. Courtney working against Boone. Over to Jaden Parker. Parker on the left angle. Goes inside to Harris. Harris turns. Shoots. Thought she had drawn the foul against McCall Marsh. And they just call it out of bounds. Harris to inbound the ball. Goes to Wood. Wood missed everything. Harris, a good job. Gets it into Parker. Wood, a three-point shot. That's off the rim. Jensen goes up for the rebound. They're going to call a jump ball. And this one goes to Ririe. No, Soda. Harris will take it out of bounds. Comes in, and Jensen blocks the shot. Wood steals the ball from behind. Smart play. Well, she was kind of boxed up, but she just bounced it off the shins of Eden Jensen. Soda will have the ball. Parker will get it into Grunning. Over to the right side. To Wood. Three-point shot. Missed everything. Young down with the rebound. Goes to Gallup. Over to Jensen. Jensen outside. Shot by Young. Splash. She has 4 points. Grunning will bring it into the fourth quarter. Goes over to the left side to Jaden Parker. To Harris into the corner to Kempe. Parker a three-point shot. Kempe for the rebound. Little circus shot goes out of bounds. And Soder touched it last. Checking in will be Robeson. And Robeson, that law firm, they got to be twins. Jensen will inbound the ball against full court pressure. Comes into Robeson. And, call a jump. That's on the floor. Jensen rips it away. Soda had that tied up. Lead pass is going to go out of bounds. Too strong for Robeson. 24-10. Tingley to inbound the ball to Grunning. Grunning will walk it up the floor into the forecourt, facing a Ririe 2-3 zone. Goes over to Harris. Anna Davis wasn't looking as Harris tried a wraparound pass, and Ririe comes up with it. Jensen on the left angle to Robeson. Robeson drops it into Marsh. Marsh outside shot. Got a 3-point shot by Boone. That is the sixth 3-point shot by Ririe. And they take a 17-point lead. I had understood, and I don't know for sure. What do I know? In Spanish, you say, que se yo, that Soda beat Ririe in the jamboree that they just had. And they're really struggling now. And they're allowing the 3-point shots. Ririe's hit more threes. No, it's the same. 4 threes and 4 twos for 27 points. It will be Soda's ball on the side. It'll be Ellie Wood to inbound the ball for the Cards. Comes into Courtney Groning. Groning into the forecourt, works around a pick, bounce pass to Wood. He's tied up. They'll call a jump ball. Possession belongs to Ririe. Where does the name Ririe come from? Harris just about had the pick. Jensen 3. That one's no good. But Marsh with the rebound. Shot is up and splash. Another 3-point shot. Boone has 2. Jensen has 3. And Robeson has 2. Courtney running over to Harris. 4:35 to go until halftime. Anna Davis into Harris. Harris drives and it's blocked out of bounds by Marsh. Taylor Chingy will check in for Harris. The name Ririe, it was a family that settled that area, just kind of north and east of Idaho Falls. Tinky, a 3-point shot, rims out. Marsh down with the rebound to Jensen. The Ririe family settled it, and it was named after them. Ball taken away by Anna Davis, taken back. Groning reaches in, and they're going to call a jump ball. This one belongs to Soda. I think this has got to be a surprise for the Cardinals. They're behind by 20. Josie Tingy to inbound the ball. Ellie Wood checks out. Parker checks in. So we got both Tingies, Groning, Anna Davis, and Jaden Parker. Goes over to Davis, Tingy, Parker. Working against Gallup. Over to Courtney Groning. Into Tingy. To Parker. Davis, a 3-point shot. That's long. Tingy with the rebound. Has the shot blocked by Marsh. And they say it went out of bounds off from Marsh. Wow. 30-20. 3:44 to go in the first half. Taylor Tingy inbounds it to Parker. Davis, 3-point shot straight away. That misses. And Boone down with the rebound for the Bulldogs. Over to Jensen. You really got to cover her outside the arc. Goes into Marsh. Back to Gallup. Marsh at a high post. Over to Robeson. Robeson to Gallup. Gallup will get it to Boone. Ball is stolen away by Groning. Groning drives off the left side and lost it off her knee. Kind of got first game stuff going on for the Cards. Ball comes in to Boone. Boone beats the traffic, goes down the left side, kicks it back to Gallup Jensen, and that was a block by Parker. But I didn't see it that way. I saw a push off by Jensen Parker, not very big, and she just about went rolling. Ririe ball on the side, and be Eden Jensen, and she'll get it into Boone. Boone over to Gallop, back to Boone across the top. Parker on Boone, ball knocked away, and Kempy comes up with it. Kempy to Anna Davis, up to Tingy. Inside, Kempy, 3-point shot. Anna Davis, Parker runs it down for Soda. High post, back over to Taylor Tingy, into Kempy, and she puts a shot up, misses. Parker knocks it out of bounds. It'll belong to Ririe with 2:23 to go in the first half. Comes into Boone. Again, Boone dribbles out of traffic, and I think we're going to get a reach by Anna Davis. Yeah. Soda has a total of 7 fouls, and 5 in the first quarter, and 2 in this quarter. I'm thinking this is the first time I've actually seen these two officials. They're pretty good. They're calling it really tight, which is something that you have to adjust to, but they are pretty consistent. Ryrie has 5 fouls for the first half. Soda has 7. On defense, Soda's probably been the more aggressive. Gallop will take it out of bounds. Gallup, just like Gallup, New Mexico. Boom, across the top, over to Robeson. Robeson back to Gallup. It'll go to Boone. Boone, high post, goes right through the hands of Marsh. Tingy comes up with it. Back to Kempy. Beautiful pass underneath the wood. Wood missed a chippy. Doggone it. That was a beautiful pass. Wood was all alone. 3-point shot. Oh, cow. That was 27 footer by Jensen. Got any questions whether Jensen can hit the three? She has 4 of them. Inside, Harris has the ball knocked away, taken by Boone. Boone into the forecourt with a left-hand dribble, cut off, goes across over to Gallup. Gallup from down by Stars. That was 26 feet. That's her first basket, and it's 36-10. Wood. Shot up by Davis, rims out. Marsh with the rebound to Boone. Boone to Jensen. Jensen just across the timeline. 50 seconds to go in the half. Gallup give and go to Marsh. Marsh missed a layup. Wow, I didn't see that way. I'm going to say Robeson knocked it out of bounds. I thought that went off of Soda. Gronim and Harris check in for Taylor Tingy and Jaden Parker. Wow, 26-point lead. 40 seconds. Gronim into the forecourt. Goes to Harris, to Gronim, to Davis. Back to Wood. Wood over to Gronim, into Kempy, knocked away. 25 seconds. 3-point shot by Groning. That's her third. 14-36. Marsh drives in, missed a layup. Marsh was 5'10-ish, 5'11-ish. Pretty big kid. And that foul went against. The board shows Anna Davis. You'll be boom, 10 down the ball, gets it into Gallup, 9 seconds. Gallup works to the left ankle to Robeson. Boom, 2 seconds. They're not going to get the shot away. And at the buzzer, Ririe with a 20-point lead. I wouldn't have put my money on that. Soda with only 4 points in that second quarter. So I lied. I said the varsity game would be way different than the JV game. But so far, they kind of mirror each other. Both teams go into the locker room. Let me add up the scoring for you. 36 to 13. And Robeson, Haley, didn't score in the first quarter. Gallup hit a three for 3 points. Tristan Gallup. Bybee didn't get into the game. 7 points for Lauren Robeson. She hit 2 threes and was 1 of 2 from the free throw line. And it was Eden Jensen. She had 4 threes and a 2 for 14 points. 4 points for Nikaylee Young on 2 twos. Lucy Boone hit 2 threes for 6 points. Nicole Marsh had a 2 for 2 points. Ririe with just 2 free throws. They were 1 of 2 from the free throw line, committed 5 personal fouls. I'm not sure my math is right. Courtney Groning has 9 points for Soda on 3 threes. Rosie Harris hit 2 of 4 from the free throw line for 2. Maddie Kempe hit 2 of 2 from the free throw line for 2 points. Soda hit on 4 of 6 from the free throw line, committed 7 personal fouls. Ririe outscored Soda by 10 in the first quarter, 19-9. Soda could only manage 4 points in the second quarter, and Ririe put up 17 points in the second quarter, outscoring Soda 17-4. So the Lady Bulldogs, they lead it 36-13 here at halftime. That is really not much offense for the Lady Cards. JV game, well, it was kind of the same. Ririe won that game 41, that was Freudian, 51-10. Soda didn't score in the fourth quarter and was held to 3 in the third quarter and only had 1 point in the second quarter. So here's halftime, 36-13. That will find, I think I got notes. In fact, last year, who was the 3A state champion? Well, we thought it was going to be Malad out of our conference, Lady Dragons. They were awesome last year. But it was Parma, the Parma Panthers, over Malad by 3 in the state championship, 58-55. Soda made it to Boise, but lost the first two games. Lost to Parma, 49-24, and lost to the Lady Pilgrims of New Plymouth, 48-36. In the 6As, it was Owyhee in a pretty good one against Boise. That was 38-33 as Owyhee wins the 6A state championship. In the 5As, there was Pocatello. What are they called? Thunder something. They changed it from the Indians. I don't like that. So they won the state championship, even with the name change, 62-45 over Middleton. Sugar beat Bear Lake for the 4A championship. It was a good Bear Lake team, but Sugar, they are always so good. So it was the Diggers 47, Bear Lake 51. And the 2As, nope, excuse me, got that wrong. 47-41, the Diggers and the Bears. In the 2As, it was Oakley 62 over Prairie 51. So Oakley wins the 2As, and Rockland beat Genesee in the 1As 56-39. And that is your last year's state champions. Got football going on, and I'm sure we're about done, or at least halfway through the football games going on. Ririe played yesterday, and they beat Aberdeen, which I thought was a really good team. That score played at Idaho State was 14-8, the Bulldogs over the Tigers. And so tonight it's West Side versus Nampa Christian. West Side beat West J 37-14 to face the Trojans from Nampa Christian. Grace, this should have been a good one. I'm thinking it's over. Don't have a score. It was Grace versus Kendrick in the Kibbe Dome up at the University of Idaho in Moscow. That game started at 6 o'clock. And it was Kamei versus Logos in the other semi. Grace beat Prairie 40-16 last week. Logos beat Hagerman 66-14. In the 6As, it is Rigby versus Rocky Mountain. Rigby beat Mountain View 42-28. Rocky Mountain in a good one beat Eagle 13-6. In the other semi, it was Timberline versus Coeur d'Alene. Timberline beat Middleton 21-7. Coeur d'Alene beat Madison 42-14. In the 5As state championship semis, Hillcrest, the Knights, face the Bruins of Twin Falls. Hillcrest beat Lakeland 35-14. Twin beat Century 22-7. In the other semi, it was Bishop Kelly over Skyline, or versus Skyline tonight. Bishop Kelly beat Blackfoot 40-8. Skyline beat Sandpoint 43-35. And the 4As, Fruitland with face Kimberly. That should be a good one. Fruitland beat Buell 41-27. Kimberly beat American Falls. And that was a stunner to me, 42-0. It'll be Sugar versus Homedale in the other semi. Sugar beat Snake 55-6, and Homedale beat Weiser 30-22. In the 1As, Council versus Cary. Council beat Garden Valley 46-8. Cary beat Court of Christ 40-34. In the other semi, it was Tri-Valley versus Wallace. Tri-Valley beat Deary 82-32, and Wallace in overtime beat Genesee 68-66. Oh, wow. Just got a text from Terry Anderson. He's my buddy. Said Grace is down 50-0. West Side and Nampa Christian just ready to kick off. So thanks to Terry. He's such a good guy. Still calls me Super Globe. There's a few that still call me that. Dr. Bowman in church, he always has to say Super Glade. I went with that for quite a while. Then I kind of got away from it. It's back. Super Glade. That was Doug Mathis that gave me that name. Soda will have the ball to begin the third quarter. Not a very good showing for the Cards. Only 13 points. Running over to Harris, back outside to Wood. Left angle, Harris in the corner to Parker. Running outside, goes to Parker. Running on the angle, Parker on the wing. Left side, across the top, over to Wood. High post to Harris. Running three-point shot, and she was fouled. Probably Robeson. That'll be a three-shot foul. No, we're going to call, yes. That is the third foul on Robeson. Thought they were going to call that on Boone, and they changed their mind. Shot rattles in for Groningen. She'll get two more. Groningen has 10 of second shot. That was ugly, but it went down. 36-15. Groningen has 11 of the 15 points. The third free throw is good. She hit all three of them. Full court pressure, Groningen all over Boone. Lead pass comes down, shot up, and bad coverage by Soda. It was Boone for her 8th point. Groningen into the forecourt, bounce pass to Jaden Parker. They are pulling it tight. That was a bump against Young. And that's her third foul. So 2 quick fouls on Ririe. Ball comes into Groningen. Bounce pass to Parker on the right angle. Parker, and there's another bump by Boone. And I think that's her first. Got away. Post it. There we go. That is Lucy Boone's first foul. 3 fouls now on Ririe. Groningen over to Wood on the left angle. Wood back across the top. To Parker. Parker just about threw it over the head of Groningen. Comes into Harris. Harris puts it up. Tough look shot. Ririe down with the rebound. Goes to Jensen. Jensen into the forecourt to Young. Young stops in the paint. Robeson to Robeson. Goes back to Young. Young down into the corner to Robeson. We got about a 40% chance of getting that right when I say Robeson. And again, they're calling it tight. And you got to understand that. And that's Groningen's third personal foul. Kind of like I got about a 40% chance when both Tingies are on. There's a steal by Wood. Wood will bring it into the forecourt to the right angle to Kempe. Wood, a three-point shot, banks off no good. Jensen down with the rebound to Young. Comes up the floor. Marsh back to Robeson. Jensen. She can shoot it from there. You got to get in her face. Whoa. Boone fell down. Harris knocks it away. Groning drives down the right side, puts it up and drops it in. That is 14 points for Groning. They have numbers. Young, a 3-point shot. Splash. Wow. That is 2, 4, 6, 8 3-pointers. Goes to Harris. Harris is tripped. I think that's going to go against Young. That would be her fourth, I think. Yes. Soda ball out underneath their own basket. Next foul. Cards will be shooting. Gallup checks in. Gallup, New Mexico. Right on the Arizona border. It's in what you call the checkerboard area of the Navajo Nation. A very good friend lives in Albuquerque now. She wants to fly me down to Albuquerque. And it's going to be back court. So to let the ball get away from them. 41-18, 5:07 to go in the third quarter. She said, no, I want to fly you down here to Albuquerque. Lived in Albuquerque for a little while, a couple of years. Liked Albuquerque. 24-footer, that's off the rim. Marsh with the rebound back to Jensen. Jensen drives down the right lane, and that either Kempy or Harris. Groning was there. If it was Groning, it would be her fourth. Going to put Jensen at the line. It's going to go against Kempy. That's her second. Jensen at the free throw line. Jensen with 14 points. 15 points. She's a good player. Really good player. 5'9", junior. Jensen for one more. Good. Right down to the bottom of the well. Makes it 43-18. Groning into the forecourt. Bounce pass to Anna Davis. Taylor Tingy over to Harris. Down in the corner to Davis. Josie Tingy. Nice save. Harris has it taken away by Gallup. Goes to Boone. Boone all the way goes in and lays it in. 10 points for Boone. Tingy to Davis. Davis. Bad pass is picked off by Ririe. Jensen into the forecourt. We'll leave it for Boone. Back to Jensen. You got to cover her 30 feet in. She can really nail them. Goes to Boone. Boone to Gallup. And still by Josie Tingy. Tingy into the forecourt. Gets it to Groning between the circles. Bad pass. Picked off by Robeson. Goes to Gallup. Gallup puts it up, and she was a little off balance. Groning has it knocked away from behind. Gallup goes in against Harris, scores, and she's fouled. Gallup has 5 points. This will be her first free throw. And they called that against Groning, and that's her fourth. Wood and Parker set to check in. Coach Matt Groning calls timeout. So timeout on the floor. A lot of good college football going on tomorrow. Horned Frogs, TCU, will be in Provo to face BYU. But then basketball, that's even bigger than the football game. The number 7 ranked BYU Cougars will face the number 3 ranked Yukon Huskies. And so that's tomorrow. Boise State, they will have San Diego State in Boise. No, they are in San Diego. tomorrow. Basketball, they just beat the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, from Edinburgh, Texas. I'm sure you didn't know that. They will have the Bobcats from Bozeman in Boise tomorrow. Basketball. Ririe Ball, Utah State will be at UNLV football tomorrow. Boone gets it into Robeson. Boone back outside looking for Gallup. Gets it to Gallup. Harris ties her up. Yes. Possession will belong to Ririe. Ririe will have the ball on the side. It'll be Jensen to inbound the ball. Ball is taken away by Davis to Tingy, up the floor to Wood, to Groningen. Groningen at the top of the key to Taylor Tingy. Back to Groningen. Groningen between the circles, back to Davis, to Tingy in the corner. Groningen to Tingy. Tingy goes to Tingy. Drives in and scores. Full court pressure, Ririe. Ooh, that's a walk. Shot up by Boone, and that was probably a foul on Tingy. These guys that were calling it so tight, I think they missed a couple. Soda ball as running. Soda behind by 25. Running in the corner. Tingy puts a shot up. No good. Anna Davis rips it away from Jensen. They're going to call a jump ball. Wow, that was wicked. Soda ball on the alternate possession. Josie Tingy to inbound the ball. Comes into Davis to Taylor Tingy. Was in the corner to Groningen. Groningen drives, puts it up with the left hand. Groningen takes a nosedive. Robeson comes down with it. Ooh, nice pass, but it's stolen away by Tingy, and Tingy is fouled by Jensen. There's finally something to cheer about for the Cards. It's got to be shooting. That's 5 fouls. Look up here. I'll keep you in the game, guys. And that was Jensen's second foul. 5 fouls. That'll put Josie Tingy at the free throw line. Shot up by Tingy, rims out, no good. Josie is a junior. Kaylee is a sophomore. Checking in, they give up about 2 feet as Robeson checks in for Marsh. Marsh is about 7'2". Second shot, missed everything. Doggone it. So Ririe basketball leading by 25. Full court pressure by the Cards. Ririe breaks it easily. They have numbers, but they threw it away. Oh no, Soda kicked it out. Hallie Robeson lost the handle on it, and Soda probably should have let that go out of bounds. Tingy kicks it out. Ririe ball on the side, comes into Gallup. Over to Boone. Boone on the right angle, working against Wood, goes to Jensen. Jensen slips a pick, goes in, she's fouled. Wow, she is a good player. That's going to go against Tingley. She's only a junior. Then put Jensen at the free throw line. She's 2 for 2 from the line. Has 16 points, 17 points. Kempe checks in for Taylor Tingley. Jensen at the free throw line for one more. She's perfect. Still perfect. She has four threes, a two, and is 4 for 4 from the free throw line. 1:50 to go in the third quarter. Wood. Wood up top. Over to Davis in the corner. Tingy, 3-point shot. That's long. And Robeson down with the rebound. Up the floor. It comes to Boone, to Jensen. Back to Boone. Over to Gallup, 3-point shot. That looked pretty good, but she missed. Long lead pass down to Davis. What a pass! Davis takes it in, and Anna Davis gets in the book. Beautiful pass. Davis, nice body control, taking that in off the right side. Jensen around the pick, in the paint, gets it over to Robeson. Robeson to Gallup. Jensen, 22-footer. She missed. That's unusual. Gallup over on the right wing. Gallup drives. A couple of hacks there. Gallup goes all the way in and scores. And she was fouled. Count the basket. Gallup will go to the free throw line. Fouled by Josie Tingy. That's her third. Marsh back in. She'll check in for Jensen. Harris checks in for Davis. Tingy checks in for Tingy. So Taylor for Josie. Gallup at the free throw line. Trying to make a 3-point play the old-fashioned way. Misses. Tingy down. Ooh, that was a lot. Goes to Parker. To Wood. To Harris. Harris up top to Tingy. 40 seconds to go in the third. High post to Harris. Back to Parker. Goes into Harris. Harris leans in. Oh, tough luck shot. Missed it. And Marsh down with the rebound. Get it back to Boone. Boone into the forecourt. Picked up by Parker. Goes to the left angle. Goes to Marsh. Back to Boone. Boone between the circles. Over to Gallup. Wow. Again, normally that isn't a foul. But they are really calling it tight. That one goes against Ellie Wood. And that's 5 fouls on Soda. So that'll put Gallup at the free throw line. She's 0 for 1 at the line. Shot is good. Right down to the bottom of the well. Groning checks in for Wood. Gallup will get one more. She has 8 points. Second shot, splash. 10 seconds. Groning into the forecourt. Groning gets a pick, hooks it to Parker. Parker's 3-point shot from the right corner. 1 second, not going to get it away. And at the end of 3 quarters, it is 22-51. Soda put up 9 points in that quarter. That was a little better. But Ririe put up 15. So the Bulldogs outscored Soda in the third quarter by 6. Timeout on the floor. Mentioned that Utah State is at UNLV tomorrow. That's a 5 o'clock kickoff. They beat Weber in basketball, 83-73. That was Wednesday. And they'll have the UTEP Miners in Logan. Lived in New Mexico for quite a while. And lived in Las Cruces. I love Las Cruces, so I could live there. But UTEP and New Mexico State are only about 40 miles apart. But the real rivalry besides New Mexico State was New Mexico. New Mexico and UTEP, they just hate each other. The Lobos and the Miners. I've seen a few of those games. Boom, into the forecourt against Parker. Oh, nice give and go. Young lays it in. Wow, so they went to sleep on that one. Young with 9 points. Granu goes to Wood. Wood misses the tree. Follow their own shot. Got a jump ball. Alternate possession will belong to Soda. Harris will take it out underneath the Soda basket. Bounce pass comes into Kempy. Do they call a foul on Jensen? And they say Jensen knocked it out. Harris gets it into Parker. Parker up top between the circles to Kempy to Groning. Harris back to Parker. Groning. Harris a 3-point shot. Karams off. And Jensen for Ririe down with the rebound. We'll leave it for Boone. Boone between the circles over to Jensen. Jensen drives hard on Kempy. Kempy good defense. Jensen still has a dribble going. And now the ticky-tack foul they call on Kempy. Wow, this is as tight, I think, as I've seen a game called in a very, well, since I played. And that was 53 years ago. Third foul on Kempy. No, I'm not lying. Lob comes in, beautiful inbounds pass, and Young scores. 55-22. Grani works to the left angle, leaves it for Parker, back to Courtney. Courtney Grani back between the circles, back over to Parker on the right angle. Ooh, threw it over the head of Wood, but Harris was right there. Grani, 3-point shot, Karams off. Wood down with the rebound, back to Harris, no look to Parker. Parker hasn't hit a three, and she's normally good for a couple. Boom, bring it into the forecourt to Jensen. Kempy, nice pick and roll. Jensen back outside from Young. And Kempy knocks it away from Jensen. And they say it went out off from Maddie. Josie Tingy and Anna Davis check in for Soto. Jensen, oh, nice pass into Marsh. Marsh leans in at 7'3" and drops it in. He's a big kid. 57-22. Tingy up top to Harris. Parker's 3-point shot. Karen's off. Davis with the rebound for the Cards. Whips the pass into Harris, and I thinking that was a foul on Jensen. That would be her third. Yep, that is her third. Again, really impressed with Jensen. Eden Jensen, just a junior. 3-point shot by Tingy, no good. Young comes down with the rebound, lost it, but Jensen collects it. Boom, a 3-point shot. That's no good. Parker will run it down on the left sideline. Parker down to the left corner. Back to Harris. Harris tried to force it into Kempy. Goes back to Parker. Parker off the glass. No good. Boom with the rebound. I think they're going to call a reach in. Probably on Parker. And that would be Jaden's second. Taylor Tingy will check in for Jaden Parker. Boom. We'll bring it across the timeline. High post to Young. Back door. That's got to be Lundquist off the junior varsity team. Lundquist working against Tingy. Goes to Jensen. Jensen backs it out with 15 seconds on the shot clock. 3-point shot by Young is no good. Anna Davis saved it. She was actually knocked out of bounds by Marsh. Taylor Tingy. Harris, 3 points. Got it. Harris splash from downtown. Boom, into the forecourt to Jensen. Left side, Young to Lundquist. Lundquist on the right elbow, ball knocked away from Marsh, and Davis for Soda comes up with it. Tingy on the left wing to Davis, to Tingy. Taylor Tingy with a three, that was off the mark. And Lundquist for Ririe with the rebound. Boom. To Young, outside to Jensen. Jensen pulls up about 15 feet, and they say she was fouled. Taylor Tingy thought, what? You're kidding, right? They actually called it against Josie. That's her fourth. Jensen at the line. No, that one rattled out. That's her first miss. She was 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Kempe checks out. 57-25. Jensen, one more, and that one's good. 58-25. Goes into the corner to Davis. To Wood. Harris. Ooh, that might have been a walk. Well, not wasn't Harris. Or is she a fighter? She dives on the floor, but Ririe comes up with it. Lundquist almost has it knocked away by Wood. Jensen, about a 22-footer. Harris down with the rebound for the Cards. 58-25. Tingy to Davis in the right corner. Goes to Wood. Back to Davis. Lob pass in the low blocks. Harris over the head of Tingy. And there's a foul from the back side. And they're saying that foul was on Marsh, and that's only her second. 3 fouls on Soda. 14 seconds to go in the game. 12. Shot clock is off. Shot is up, no good. Shot up again by Soda. Jensen comes down with it. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And that is the ball game. Ririe wins it. Kind of surprised me a little bit. DeSoto could only put up 25 points in this ball game. 58-25. Ririe wins it by 33. Let me add up the scoring for you. Soda should be pretty easy. Let me add up Ririe. I have to take my glasses off so I can see. Haley Robeson did not score. Tristan Gallup had 9 points. She was 2 of 3 from the free throw line, hit a 3 and 2 twos. Bybee did not play. Lauren Robeson, 7 points. She hit 2 threes and was 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Eden Jensen, 19 points. She was 5 of 6 from the free throw line, had 4 threes and a 2. Nakia Young had 11 points. She had a 3 and 4 twos. Lucy Boone had 10 points. She had 2 threes. Didn't get to the free throw line. 2 points for McCall Marsh, nope, 4 points. Ririe hit on 8 of 11 from the free throw line. They hit 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 threes. For Soda, Jaden Parker, well, she didn't score tonight. Courtney Groningen hit 3 threes, a 2, and was 3 for 3 from the free throw line. So that's 14 points for Courtney. Rosie Harris had 2 points. She hit on 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Maddie Kempe had 2 points on 2 for 2 from the free throw line. 2 points for Anna Davis. She hit a bucket in the third quarter. Josie Tingy had 2 points, hit a 2, and was 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Ellie Wood did not score, and Taylor Tingy did not score. Soda hit on 7 of 11 from the free throw line. Add up the fouls. 9, 14 fouls for Ririe. For Soda, 5, 10, 15, 16 fouls for Soda. So they called it pretty close. At the end of the first quarter, it was Ririe 19 and Soda 9 as the Bulldogs led it by 10. In the second quarter, Ririe outscored Soda 17-4 to take the lead at halftime, 36-13. In the third quarter, Ririe outscored Soda by 6, put up 15 to Soda's 9. In the third quarter, just a 3-point shot by, let's see, did I mark that on the wrong spot? No, Harris. Need to adjust here. She's got a 3 and a 2. Soda hit 4 threes. And in that final quarter, Ririe put up 7 points to Soda's 3. And so the final score is 58-25. Give me just 1 sec. We are waiting for one of the coaches to come on, and they may not after a game like tonight. And again, the where did that go, Terry? Homedale beat Sugar 30-20. Grace got whipped by Kendrick, and then Westside was just getting underway against Nampa Christian. I was hoping for Grace. Grace had an awesome team. They remember watching the 7-on-7s before the season started. Grace against Soda. I really thought Grace had a better team. They really had a great quarterback, threw the ball really well, and some good receivers. But Kendrick, it looks like, really put it on them tonight. They got Utah State. They've got UTEP in basketball tomorrow. Idaho, they will be at Sac State to face the Hornets tomorrow. Basketball, they will be at UC San Diego in La Jolla, California. I'm not sure I've even heard of them. And then Idaho State, We got 2 wins in a row. They let's see, are they at Idaho tomorrow? I know they beat Cal Poly last week in Pocatello, 27-17. Basketball, the Bengals are 2-1, and was that today? Yes, yeah, today. Justice University. Where the heck is that from? Well, they're from Chandler, Arizona, and they are at ISU. Weber, now they've had 3 football seasons. They'll just about like ever since they lost Jay Hill to BYU. He's done a great job for BYU's defense, but he's taken Weber State to the championship in that division twice, only to get beat by James Madison. They've got Northern Arizona, the Lumberjacks, at Stewart Stadium in Ogden tomorrow. Basketball, they'll be at UC Irvine tomorrow. And then Tuesday, Campbell University will be in Ogden in the Purple Palace. So I've done games in there. It's a really nice arena. In fact, I've done quite a few games in there. Um, Last night, the Utah Jazz faced Atlanta, and I didn't get that score. Sunday, the Bulls will be in Salt Lake. And then Tuesday, the Jazz will be in Los Angeles to face the Lakers. I can see the coaches, and I'll wait just a second. Looks like Matt's coming up here. Let's get a quick conversation with Coach Groney. Well, that was a tough game. I thought the officials called it tighter both ways than any the game I've seen since I played, and that was 53 years ago. But they called it really tight tonight, and of course both teams had to adjust. But we really had trouble covering Jensen. Seemed like she'd step across the half court line and drill it. She had 19 tonight. We shut her down in the fourth quarter. But that's a pretty good Ririe team.
Yeah, I think it's a really good Ririe team. Honestly, that's a tough first night draw for us. We just we got to make some baskets. I mean, that's not rocket science, but I told them they're all gonna have to go home and ice their shooting arms because we actually I don't know if you got the stats there, but I think we were somewhere in the 7 for 50 range. So we outshot them, but we far from outmade them. And let's be that first half, they shot the lights out. They shot the lights out. So I'll credit to them that they knocked the shots down. I probably should have changed up defenses more than what I did, but being early in the year, we really need to work on our rotations in the defense that we want to run this year. And so we're kind of stuck with that. So the fact that they made that many and got that the fact we got down that much the first half was that's on me. I should have changed things up a little bit and didn't.
Yeah, I've got them for 9 threes, and Jensen had 4 of them. Um, we had kids that normally score that didn't get in the scorebook tonight, so that was unusual.
Yeah, that we have to have more balanced scoring. Again, I'm stating the obvious, but we have to have more balanced scoring than what we had tonight, and we'll get there. A lot of these kids have been doing some other sports, and it was kind of their first big opening varsity night for a lot of them, and so the jitters were there, but uh, we I know it doesn't look like it on the scoreboard, but it's like I told them in the locker room is we improved on some things I wanted to improve on the second half. Our rotations got a little better. We started getting the ball inside a little more. We shot too many threes tonight. We can't just settle for the threes. A lot of that's credit to them too in the zone that they played, but I've got to do a better job of getting us in position to make 2 pointers and not 3 pointers.
Got the Beavers tomorrow here. Do you know anything about them? They've been getting better each year, and so I'm not sure. I know they had a pretty good team last year, but we've got them again tomorrow night here at home.
Yeah, good and bad, right? That's why I told the girls. The good news is we don't got to sit on this loss for very long. We got to get over it quick and turn around tomorrow night. And yeah, American Falls has been getting better every year, so that's not going to be a pushover either. We got our work cut out for us. They're a little bigger school, um, so we've just got to learn what we can from this game. And there was plenty to learn. And listen, this bunch isn't going to roll over and give up. That's one thing I will tell you about this bunch is they're going to work and they're going to get better. And hopefully we don't have too many more nights like this one.
We still need a 7 foot post player.
I would take right now. I would take a 5-5 post player if I'm being picky. Yeah, summer ball has not been kind to us the last couple years. So I do have a post player. The problem is she's my manager right now in street clothes. So yeah, feel horrible for her. But the old saying, we play the cards we're dealt, and this bunch we have, Maddie can't be play most times plays like she's 6'5" anyway. She's got the heart of a 6'5" person, but we'll get there. It's not how we wanted to start. It's not how anybody wanted to start, and all we can do is, chalk it up as one of those nights. I didn't want to have to use that phrase the first game of the year, but I will, and we'll just get better from here.
Tell me about the press and the rotation on that press. And I've got to give Ririe a lot of credit. They did a good job of breaking the press.
Yeah, they did. And again, I credit a lot of that to being early in the year, and we haven't quite got our rotations down. We have girls playing different roles in that press right now, and so we missed some assignments there in the press when it got broke. But we did force a few turnovers off it too, so I wasn't completely disappointed in it. But you know, by pressing, we just want to speed the game up a little bit and make them shoot those threes in transition, which they did in the first half, and they made them.
Think you got to be happy about the heart that they had. I know there's probably 4 or 5 kids that are going to have to wash their uniforms tonight. They were all over the place. In fact, I always get a kick out of Rosie Harris. She just seems to be in the middle of everything. And Kempy dusted the floor a few times, and both Tingies, and even that Courtney kid. I don't know who she belongs to, but I saw her on the floor quite a bit too. So you got to be pretty satisfied with the effort.
Yeah, I've told you before, Glade. I'll never question their effort. I got to give it this bunch. There's not one that's going to just roll over and accept that we're losing for that night. They're gonna continue to make themselves better no matter what the score is, and realize this is a long road ahead of us. This is game one of 20 something, and so as long as we learn something from tonight, then it wasn't a worthless game to play. But all eight that we dress varsity wise, there isn't a one of them that's not going to give you everything they got out there on the floor.
All right, we'll let you go, and we'll see American Falls in here tomorrow night. And I got $2 that says we're going to be a different team tomorrow night.
Well, I hope you win that bet, is what I'll say. But I would agree with you. No, we're only going to get better. I mean, that's easy to say when you get blown out like we did tonight, but we'll get better as the season progresses. We got some players in a couple new roles that they got to get a little more comfortable in, and we'll get there. It's a long season.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow night. We appreciate you coming up here for the post game, and I don't know whether you have to take an Ambien or how do you. I wouldn't sleep. If it was me, I'd still have plays going through my head at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And so, do you do anything, any walkthroughs or anything like that before we face American Falls?
Well, I'm not going to tell you what I do before to get me to sleep at night when I after a game like this. But no, we're honestly going to we'll have the girls over for breakfast in the morning. We'll watch very little of this game.
Yeah.
We're going to watch some highlights and things that we did well, and we're going to build on those things. And then we're going to be ready to go tomorrow night, and we're going to be ready to play tomorrow night. It's going to be a good game.
All right. We'll let you go. Appreciate you joining us and tough game, but it's just the first one.
It is. You know, these aren't my favorite to interview afterwards, but it's no one's fault but mine. So, but I appreciate what you do, Glade. Thank you.
All right, we'll let you go. Thanks, Matt. That is, it's a background. That is Matt Groening. And we'll just run the scoring really quickly. 14 points for Courtney Groening, 5 for Rosie Harris, 2 for Maddie Kempe, 2 for Anna Davis, and 2 for Josie Tingy. End of the first quarter, it was 19-9. At halftime, it was 36-13. At the end of the third quarter, 51-22. And the final score here at Soda Springs High School, Ririe 58 and Soda 25. That's going to do it here, and we'll wrap it up. And for Sue Haley, who's been running the camera and the computer tonight, this is Glade Bullock saying good night, everyone.